now whose views it's time to divert power from the warp engines to beam up for the 60th anniversary of Star Trek.
Hello everybody, it's Who's Views. How are you? Who's Views Reviews indeed, and we are starting our appreciation and celebration of the second longest running science fiction series in the world. I always have to get that in. Always have. You're the second longest running. And now I'm a naughty boy. But yes, it is. It's the 60th anniversary of Star Trek here in 2026. How are you all doing? As you can see, I'm here with Lex, I'm here with Lee, I'm here with Kirsty, the lady of the chat, I'm with Paul, and I'm with Unit. Yeah. So that's
Hi,
good.
everyone.
Hello, everybody. Everybody all right?
Yeah, not bad. How you doing? Okay?
Good.
Fine, yeah.
They can hear me. That's good. That's good. That's good. Yes. So here we are to talk about Star Trek, the motion picture. Andy reckons this might be a little bit of a Marmite episode. Let's see, shall we? Let's see what happens as we.
So Andy's gone already. That's how Marmite that was.
He's beaming out.
Yeah, he's having transporter malfunction difficulties.
Oh, that's a good bit. I like that bit. I must admit, yeah.
Oh, good. Well, we'll come to that. Listen, I want to say before we start anything, actually, everybody, a huge thank you for this. This is brilliant. Look at this drawing we've had here from Adrian Haythorne.
Wow. Fantastic.
Yes.
Lovely.
So thank you for that, Adrian. I know you're watching. And thanks for joining us. And thank you for sending this. A lot of you will know Adrian's work, actually, from various bits and pieces around the place. So very nice of you to send this picture of Ilea. There she is, looking quite sexy. But thank you for that, mate. It's a great way to start off our series here. Good to see you all. Yes, let's get into the chat before we get onto this. Say hello to everybody in the chat, shall we, guys? Because we have Bill Harry's just saying, I've just found out there are multiple versions. Where have you been, Bill? Yeah. And yeah, you can choose which one. You can talk about any version you want to in this particular show, everybody. Okay, anyone you want. Okay. What else have we got here? We've got Shamrock Particles saying nice drawing. Sadeko 24 saying nice, lovely picture. Rick Storm, hello to you, beaming in there. Good evening to you, mate. How are you? Good to see you. Mark Greaves is as well. And Funky's been leaving messages about this. I get the feeling he's going to have a lot to say, and I don't mind that. But he's good. He's saying to us, guys, I will do my best to be open to positive thoughts about this one, but it's not anywhere near my favorite, the original series movie. That's fine. That's absolutely fine, isn't it, guys?
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Shamrock.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, mate. We've got Shamrock saying to us here.
I'm having sound problems, guys. Apologies for that.
Okay, do you want to log out and log back in?
No, I can't hear JT anymore.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah. Oh, there he's gone. The motionless picture, said Shamrock, is actually good sci-fi. The other Trek films were a combination of sci-fi and action rolled together. Okay. And hello to Happy Man 050. Saw this 6 times at Southport ABC Cinema and was the first VHS video I bought, and it's a great film score. Happy Man, I'm with you.
The score is good. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Jay Goldsmith, great composer. Yeah.
He absolutely is. And I'm sure we're going to talk about that a lot more. Hello to John Roberts as well, who's pointing out something I didn't know, but he's saying it was nice to see our very own Bedweer win pointless yesterday. I'd forgotten Bedweer had done that. I hope he got a repeat fee. Probably not from the BBC, actually. And hello to Cool and Dry. How are you? Nice to see you, mate. And Craig Dunlop's with us as well. Hello, crewmates. Set phases to pun. Ooh. Fair enough. It's great to see you all. Lots of chat coming through already. Keep it coming, guys. Hello to Cara. Cara's just joined us as well. Good to see you, Cara. Let's get into this then. We are here to talk about Star Trek, the motion picture. Oh, yes, we are. From all those years ago, as we beam back to 1979, where little JT was just a little 9 years old, everybody.
Oh,
Paul was
I
older.
I am older, yes. Yeah.
I was 2 weeks old then.
Lex was 2 weeks old. What did you say, Mr. Bed?
I wasn't even born.
Oh, heaven's sake.
You want to detect some fibbing going on in this stream?
Not at all.
Going on?
Not at all. That's
Oh,
a
okay.
problem.
Okay. Sorry, I do apologize.
Hopefully Andy's good. Yeah, he is. Let's see if he's back with us now. Andy, hopefully you can hear us. Can you hear us now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Well, welcome back. You managed to get the teleport.
I don't know what happened. It was after the introduction. Something disappeared.
Well, here we go then. Yes, we are going back to the USA release of Star Trek: The Motion Picture, which happened to be on December the 7th, 1979, with a special premiere in Washington, D.C., the night before on December the 6th, 1979. The United Kingdom release was December the 15th, 1979. The director was Robert Wise, and the screenplay was by Harold Livingstone from a story by Alan Dean Foster. And of course, there you've also got, in that picture there, Gene Roddenberry, the father of Star Trek, as we all know.
Yeah.
I wonder what he'd be making of it today, I tell you. I don't know. I like that picture there. Yeah, I like that picture, though. It's a great picture, that one. It opened in the United States of America, guys, in 859 theaters, and its second record for the highest weekend gross at that particular time.
Yeah.
And as we mentioned, the musical score is by the legendary Jerry Goldsmith. Right, so who wants to... I'll start. I'll kick off with this because I love this film. I can watch this film quite happily at any time. You can give me this and I'll toddle off quite happily and watch this. In contrast, though, as Funky is saying to us here, it's Trek Jim, but slower than we know it. Now, some of you in the chat will know when the VHS version was released in the UK. That's when I first saw the film, and I was bored out of my mind as a 9-10-year-old. It was not after the Klingons in the opening bit. And it just shows you how age can make you appreciate things. So, Funky, maybe you're not old enough yet, love.
Well, I was 13 when I saw it in the cinema originally, and I was really bored to death myself. And I've not seen it properly right through until just the other day there. So it's been a long gap between proper viewings for me, and that's made an interesting. You're right, being older, I've appreciated some of it more now than I did originally.
How old were you when you went to see the pictures?
13.
13.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think, in fact, I'm sure that the motion picture is the only film I've not seen at the pictures because of the age. So I'm sure. John Keeley, thank you for your super chat, my friends. I really appreciate it. Saying good evening, lady and gentlemen and chat. Hope all are well. Well, we are, and I hope you are too. And thanks for that, mate. Thank you very, very much. Lots of you in the chat coming up with things as well. Mark is with us, guys, saying, Mark, I remember seeing the motion picture when I was 9. Going from the TV series to this was spectacular. The slower pace didn't bother me at all. It was just incredible to see it on a big screen. So when you guys are coming along to this, I'll give you my first impression of this when I was younger. Some of you have only just been introduced to this, like Kirsty, this very day. So what were your first impressions, Lee, when you found this? What was your first impression of this? Because you are a massive Trekkie.
I'm a huge Trekkie, and again, I came to the TV series, then Wrath of Khan, and then the motion picture when I was young, which was interesting. But again, I think as everybody said, my appreciation for the film has changed as I've got older and as we've had 64 different versions of it, and you discover more about, if I'm going to be honest, the reason behind the motion picture. And I think once we start to accept the facts, and I've done this, when you view it not as a motion picture, but as a television series pilot episode, which is what it was meant to be, you view it completely different, and you can understand. And I think it was interesting. I think it was Shamrock Particle Seed. This is a great example of sci-fi. The other films are a mixture of action and sci-fi rolled together. And that's the thing. The original premise for Star Trek Phase 2 which is what this was going to be, was a thinking man's sci-fi series to launch a new fourth television network in the States.
Yeah.
So it was something different. It was going to be slightly more paced out. There was going to be more behind it to have episodic storytelling. And I think once you realize that and look at it, and it's different, I think there are moments in it, especially we'll probably come on to it later, the space ballet and that long sweeping shot where you discover the Enterprise, which I can understand if you were watching it in the cinema and you'd paid your £3.20 or whatever it was back in the day, you might be a little bit disappointed. But I think now it's beautiful, it's amazing, and again, it actually shows the scope and the scale of space we hadn't really seen for any other time before this experience. I love it. Let me rephrase that. I love the 83 TV cut. I think that's a great version. I know there's people say the director's cut from 2001 or even the 4K, the last one that Robert Wise put out is great, but I still think the 83 director's cut for me is the TV cut is phenomenal.
It's amazing.
I've not seen any other version apart from the original version, and that's what I got on Blu-ray. Are the other versions? Do they improve the pace of the original? Would you say?
I would say yes, because the 83 one, it introduced 12 extra minutes at the time. It was because they were using it for I think it was ABC. Yeah, I'm sure it was ABC in the States, and they had a set time scale to put in there. But again, they were looking to promote it as an event. And again, it was little things, but it was more of those little character moments, more of those little nods, and really it elongated that trek. That trek from Space Dock to the Enterprise that really made you appreciate the scope that we were going into. And I think one of the taglines was, "There is no comparison," and then it was, "The adventure is just beginning." That's what you got when you were coming in there. It's like,
I think I've got something that will illustrate that, Lee. I'll just read this from Shamrock. Same here. I was especially happy to see on the 4K release the extended TV version and in proper theatre aspect ratio. Chris Lawley is telling us that, like you, Paul, he saw this in the cinema. I'm actually quite jealous of you guys because I can picture it on the cinema. And as far as I know, they haven't re-released it like some of the others. So it's a bit of a shame. Sadeko saying to us that the Klingon opening was quite disturbing. I actually felt sorry for the Klingons. Let's talk about that in a second. What else we got here? Wow, thank you. The chats are going so quickly. Yes, Funky said, wasn't it adapted from Phase 2? Yeah, you've just gone, haven't you, Lee? So yeah, Phase 2. And thanks to Mark Greaves for your super chat. The opening shots of the redesigned Enterprise in the space dock were fantastic. I love the lore behind it and the villain. Excellent premise. This is the thing, isn't it? I mean, this is a couple of years after something called Star Wars. That's right. Which took the world by storm, let's face it. I mean, we all know the story of the Doctor Who team at the time coming out the cinema going, "Oh, God." And this is what kicked Paramount up the arse, wasn't it? To say, have we got anything like that? And
I was going to ask you that if this had been a trigger from Star Wars, but there has been, in my limited knowledge of Star Trek, I'm not as an expert on this, I'm Doctor Who, but I know from reading, doing some research about it, that they've been trying to get a relaunch of Star Trek for a long time, hadn't they? The fans were clambering for it. It had been in syndication for a long time, the original 3 series, and people were really wanting to see more of it. They were going to conventions in the 70s, etc. So it's very, very popular and building up a huge fan base, or had done. So it was destined to come back in some form. But I wondered whether the Star Wars thing had, like you said, given it a kick up the arse to actually be produced.
Well, the story was that they bringing out a new Paramount network television channel of Paramount.
Ahead of the time slightly, weren't they?
To make a new Star Trek show. And the guy who played Chekhov heard the story about the TV executives said, have you seen any movies recently? He said, "Is that Star Wars? Or we'll scrap the TV pilot, make it into a 2.5-hour movie for the big screen." And that was the story.
There's lots of stories about it, that, isn't there? What happened to it. Phase 2 is famous, isn't it? And apparently, I was looking at one of the makings of on one of the versions I've got, Paul, and they had started to build certain sets like the Enterprise Bridge and stuff like this for this new. Again, it was a continuation of Star Trek. But they were calling it, the production reasons were, it's called Phase 2.
Phase 2, yeah.
I've got this actually from it, Paul.
Oh wow!
I've seen that picture. Seen it.
This is Persis Kambata, who of course was retained. She was contracted, Paul, for the series, and she was retained for the movie, which she was very happy to do. Apparently, she said in interviews when she was told it wasn't going to be a series, it was going to be a movie, she was very happy to transfer to a movie because she thought it's going to be a quicker and easier global audience for me, which is a very professional thing to think of, I think, considering that she's bumped off at the end of this.
Yeah, it seems to be quite abrupt that she is bumped off, isn't it? Really, because I'd forgotten, having only watched it again just recently, that she becomes a kind of android version of herself, kind of thing, and that was a really kind of I didn't remember that from original viewing, you know. But it's interesting what Lee said about being potential. If you think about it as a TV movie, because it does feel like it could be in 2 parts. You know what I mean? Like 2 episodes. You know what I mean?
If it hadn't been for Star Wars, well, lots of things wouldn't have happened in the industry or in science fiction if it hadn't been for Star Wars, because that literally changed everything overnight. But if it hadn't been for Star Wars, Star Trek, the movie, the motion picture, probably wouldn't have happened. It would have stayed as a television series because Paramount thought we have to have some of that. So they looked at it. You know, you could actually say, arguably, Who viewers, that from here on in, I'm going to upset people. The Star Trek franchise becomes slightly more successful than the Star Wars one because it's got so many films, whereas Star Wars only back then had 3. And I know it's had rip-offs since, but you know, it's been there with 3.
That's quite right.
Yeah, I've got these pictures as well, guys. I don't know if, for those of you around at the time in the audience, I don't know if you remember these, but I do. This was adverts I was seeing for Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Coming along. Now, that first one on the left-hand side, I remember when my dad bought me a DC comic book, and I think it was Superman, and that was one of the adverts in it. And I remember saying to my dad, "Look at this," and he said, "Oh, we'll have to keep an eye out for that." And then it was cemented with this.
The looking.
Yes.
I remember looking.
I do remember that. Yeah,
I remember looking. Wow,
this is my copy. This is my copy from Star Trek Going Boldly. This is when I think, not just myself, but I think my father got excited about this as well. So I don't know why we didn't manage to get to the cinema because he was that keen to see it. Maybe because I'm only 9. Lex, what was this originally classified as here in the UK?
It was classified as U and it was classified as G in America. It's been reclassified now as PG in America and PG in the UK.
Oh. That's because they put back bits in, maybe.
It's for scenes of mild terror.
Yeah.
And as it comes back, as you say, from that very start of the film where we see the cloud as it then is coming in, envelop the space dock and the Klingons and everything else like that. So, but again, as you said, at the time it was specifically a G in the US, so it could get that new audience that had found it at the 6 o'clock weeknight watches, you know what I mean? That huge audience that was there all of a sudden. And again, it just worked so well for Paramount. As you say, the whole idea was it was going to be that phase 2, that launch for what was going to be the Paramount television service, and it may well have succeeded in that had it not been for the fact that Michael Eisner, who we know now would go on to really help Disney and rejuvenate Disney, he was working at Paramount at the time as the head of this Paramount television service. He couldn't get an affiliate in New York City. And without New York City, the whole idea was dead essentially. But rather than waste the $5 million that they'd already put on phase 2, and as you say, JT, building those sets, signing up those actors, having those 13 commissioned episodes, those commissioned scripts already written, they said, what can we do with it? And that's why they went back, they looked at it, picked the best one of them, and transformed it into the motion picture.
Yeah.
I think as well as the reason why it was a U in the UK was they're trying to get the Star Wars audience in to see the film.
It was a resurgence, Lex. I remember at the time, because of course I'm a Doctor Who boy at this particular point. I'm 9 years old. I am aware of Star Trek, but for me, Doctor Who was bigger because I'm British, and that's what was on all the time. It was on 24 to 26 weeks of the year, every year, non-stop in those days. Star Trek would come along when Doctor Who was off air.
Yeah.
And just fill in. And for me, it was too long.
Yeah.
Reverse of where the kids are today. It was too long. You know, it was just a case of, oh my God, you know, and it was quite slow. But I always thought, oh, I like this Captain Kirk. He's good. I like him. He was a proper hero. But there was a massive explosion, thanks to Star Wars, about science fiction, which is why the BBC suddenly got worried, because all they were Blake Seven and Doctor Who.
Yeah.
You know, but it was everywhere. Everybody was sort of talking about science fiction again. It was actually quite, even as a kid, I remember feeling this is quite exciting, you know, because you can get in comics and you would like all the features here. You would see clips on the shows like Nationwide or whatever, you know. Even Barry Norman, I think, looked at Star Trek. Yeah. Very good. Stephen O'Neill is saying to us, a 2.5-hour movie like Star Trek the Motion Picture is like a Sunday afternoon stroll in the park compared to watching nearly 4-hour versions of Kevin Costner's Dance.
Yeah, it's a 4-hour version of
that. You're right. Give me, as I say, give me this any day, and I'm happy as Larry. Honestly.
I just discovered today, JT, that the director Robert Wise directed one of my other favorite movies, sci-fi movies, and it's Day the Earth Stood Still. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Great
That's
movie.
a good movie, that. Great movie.
And the whole reason he directed the movie, and Paramount have been quite open about this over the past few years, is they were concerned about the whole Gene Roddenberry influence. And there was Gene Roddenberry's favorite movie of all time. So they decided, by having Robert Wise in there, it would probably make it a lot easier. Obviously, had the great film background, including the Sound of Music, which I just think is a superb film about. Of
course, it's beautiful. Yes,
he came in as sort of actually by having somebody that had an experienced hand on the tiller, so to speak.
Yeah.
And Robert Wise, he would actually be able to manage Gene Roddenberry. And make this whole process a lot easier.
Well, apparently the story is Gene Roddenberry really liked Robert Wise, so they got on quite well. So that was good.
Just as well, really, isn't it? But let's face it, this is the only film out of the entire set that Roddenberry gets to work on.
Yeah,
you know,
It's pushed aside in the next one, isn't he? So
yes,
they went after the action films after this because Paramount, although it made a lot of money, I think they're expecting something the size of Star Wars to come their way. And it made money, but not quite enough. So I think that's because action films after that.
I think, Andy, that's because they got the toys and everything wrong. I do remember seeing, when I was a kid, the motion picture action figures, which were the same sort of thing as the Star Wars, you know, that sort of little size.
Yeah.
There was no Enterprise, which is what I was really interested in. The only Enterprise I had at this point, guys, was the Corgi Enterprise and the Corgi Klingon vessel, which I've still got. Yeah. I love them to bits. That's all. But had they done a big Enterprise, I think they would have been onto a bit more if the figures could have gone into something. It was probably down to cost, but because they didn't have that toy range, I don't think it was as successful as Star Wars, or even a few years later, Masters of the Universe with the toy range. You know, I think they missed a trick there, Paramount. And to be honest, I think they still do. To be honest.
Speaking of the Enterprise, when I was in infant school, they had in the toy section the Enterprise.
What?
Yeah, I remember that now.
What, the Corgi version?
No, a big one.
Dinky toys, rather.
They had the big one.
Where'd they get that from?
I don't know where they got it from, but I remember.
Get on the phone and find out. I need to know.
One of the dads made it, probably.
Oh, yeah, possibly. PTA, Paul Ashworth, thank you for your super chat. Howdy all. Well, howdy to you. Love this movie and stuff the critics. That's what we like, isn't it? Stuff those critics. It was extremely well executed across the board. Even more so today, when you look at it today, it's absolutely stunning, isn't it? It's just.
I would love to have seen Barry Norman's critique of it. To be fair, I wonder if it's on YouTube. I'll try and dig out
it is
Film 79 and see if it's on there.
His review's on there apparently on YouTube.
Oh, see, that's where I might have seen it, here on the Tube of Who. I love the opening of this film. You've got this cloud. I mean, Lee mentioned it. You've got this cloud coming forward. I love the fact it does a proper, we're setting the scene for the film. You don't get your main characters straight away. The anticipation for the fans, considering that's been off the air for 10 years, I think.
Yeah,
10 years.
Yeah.
And they've been waiting. And the American fans have been so powerful in the campaigns, get it back, let's get it back, hence them going, let's have a look at the Phase 2 television show. Then it's a motion picture. And they have to wait just that little bit longer in this, as the scene is set with this cloud, it's heading towards Earth, you've got the Epsilon 5. And I wonder what the reaction from the fans back then to this lot was.
Wow. Because that's the way they went forward with that design, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
They look more realistic, don't they, than what they were in the original series?
They're bloody brilliant, aren't they?
Yeah.
I remember when I first saw the movie, and this was the opening scene, and instead of speaking English, they had subtitles.
Yeah.
And I knew straight, okay, I thought this is going to be a serious movie because they're doing subtitles in a sci-fi show, which you didn't usually get.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, it's brilliant.
That's interesting.
It's just a great opening, and I'll say that even now, I've watched it about 3 times over the last few days in the various formats. I still think that opening catches you, and it must have been fantastic. Paul, do you remember this at the pictures?
I do remember this, and be interested having subtitles. I remember when Star Wars did it with some of the aliens, and they had subtitles as well, but never in Star Trek, because this is the start of the Klingon language, isn't it? Which is a show all of its own, isn't it? About the Klingon language and learning at university, isn't it? But
yes, true. True. Yeah.
I do remember being quite impressed by the opening and the way it was set up. And like you said, you don't see the regulars, and the regulars come in one by one, and they get their own little moments, which is lovely, you know?
Yeah, it is. Curse, what did you think of this opening as a brand newbie, having only watched it about an hour ago?
I deliberately, so I am a newbie, so I deliberately made sure I wouldn't read what the movie was about. During the pandemic, I started to watch more like DS9 and Enterprise. So I have seen bits of, I have seen couples of episodes of the original, but I think what I said to my dad was the beginning of the movie, this seems a lot better than the TV show.
Yeah, good.
Okay. Was that the first time you saw the Klingon like that?
Yeah, the ridges,
and then uniform,
yeah, because they were very human in the original series.
Yeah.
But they address that in the series later on, don't they?
Much
later on in the spin-off series,
Yeah.
Later they had shown me with the episodes of DS9 when they're back in time, and the Klingon look completely different. So he was like, "Oh, look at that!" So it was fun seeing them like that. I liked the opening. I just thought it was better than any original I had seen. It got you in the beginning, so I quite enjoyed that.
I like the line from that spin-off series where Worf says, "We don't mention about that."
No, just push it under the carpet very quickly. Cowards. Tell us, give us a plot device. Happy Man 050 is saying to us the motion picture had to compete with Disney's The Black Hole on release. Which
it came out
I
at the same
like
time.
The Black Hole as well.
Yes, I
like it. I like it as well. I like it.
Yeah, maybe
I've
we'll
not
look
seen
at that
that
one.
for ages. Is that the one with the little robots and the big black?
Yes. Roddy McDowell doing the voice on that one. Yeah. That's the other thing about this. I mean, we've got plenty of chats coming here. We've got Jess Corbin saying to us, it's definitely for its time an enjoyable movie. Special effects led by Douglas Trumbull. They were groundbreaking for their time, realistic, textured models, pioneering techniques. They really did, didn't they, Jess? And they won awards quite rightly for it. It's 1978 that they're doing this stuff. And it's absolutely superb. You can see where they're putting the money, unlike various things today.
And that's that's the beauty of it as well. That big, long, going on forever, where they're looking at the Enterprise, and it's in the dock, and they're going through. You see every sort of like crevice of it, and they're just watching it. The music and just the ship and how they made that and built that, and like some filming techniques as well. That's what I've said to my dad as well. That because he went, yeah, this is fantastic still, because he's seen it a few times. And I was saying, well, yeah, like it's amazing because they actually would have to have grafted back then and be clever of how they do it. Nowadays we do have clever things, but they get a bit lazy with it. If you look at Marvel nowadays, it's like slapdash on the computer. where these guys all have to have plans and ABC of how's it going to work out and what's it going to look like. It was fantastic. I thought.
I think John Mason's agreeing with you here, Kirst, as well, because this film, says John, seems like proper serious science fiction.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah. It absolutely is, and you know, a few of them stay like that. Of the first 3, stay really quite science fiction element. Don't forget, we're going to be looking at all these films every month, so make sure you've subscribed.
Yeah.
To the channel. Make sure you stay with us because there's a lot to talk about. A lot of appreciation for the Star Trek movies. We've got Cara saying to us, I didn't appreciate it at the time, but in later years, my appreciation has grown as they show just how vast space actually is. Davey B saying to us, I'm not a massive Trek fan, but I do enjoy the original series and The Next Generation. Of the 6 original series films, I feel like I've seen the first one of them the least. That's a good point. That's a really good point, actually, because for some reason, it's one of those films that not everybody goes back to. They tend to go to Wrath of Khan, number 2. I think they're missing the trick, guys, because it's just, I just think this is beautiful and sets the scene fantastically.
It's the first half is a reunion of the characters where they are now, and then the second part is the adventure.
Yes, yeah,
you're right. Just going back to a couple of names that have been mentioned, Robert Wise and Douglas Turnbull. I've made a list of films that both of them have worked on, and I just want to read them out because all of these films are visually stunning. You've got The Day the Earth Stood Still, the original 1953 version that Paul's mentioned. You've got The Haunting, which is more of a ghost story, but that is aesthetically beautiful to watch, as well as being scary. You've got The Andromeda Strain, which Robert Wise directed. That was the last sci-fi directed before the Star Trek movie. The Douglas Turnbull's got on his CV 2001: A Space Odyssey, which I'll mention later. He also worked on The Andromeda Strain, Silent Running, and Close Encounters. That's a hell of a CV between those two folk. And no wonder this film is beautiful to look at.
Close Encounters, of course, was the other sci-fi film coming between Star Wars and Star Trek as it did, which actually really pushed Paramount into thinking it's not a one-off thing with Star Wars. There is a market here. People will actually leave. Because why have people always been snobbish towards science fiction? You know, people will leave their house and pay money to come and see a science fiction movie. Oh, let's do more of them. You know, we're seeing that again now, really, aren't they? Where they're so frightened of doing science fiction stuff. And all these other elements have crept in. It's such a shame. It really is. Great. I think the motion picture is a great way of an example, rather, of science fiction.
Plus as well, Superman the movie didn't think was going to be a big hit. That made the impact for Star Trek to happen as well.
Yeah, 78 as well. That was the year before, wasn't it? Chris Lawley is saying to us, I watched this in the generation who followed real incredible Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 that still are sending information now. Star Trek Story of V'Ger was beyond its time. Steve Braddock, the captain of the Klingon ship, is Mark Leonard, who played Spock's father.
Yeah.
It's great stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, thank you very much for joining us. There's lots of you in the chat. I'm going to try and keep up with you all. Shatner's autobiography, says Arnold's Ghost, is interesting when he writes about heart sinking when he and the crew first viewed the special effects rushes. Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I'm quite impressed with the special effects from the original one. I think it's all right.
I saw something of that when I researched the film earlier. William Shatner had gone to the premiere opening, and he was disappointed, and he thought, well, that's it. We're not going to get another movie out of this. So he didn't quite have the faith, unfortunately, but he was wrong.
Well, I think the effects are really, really good. And I think they stand up to Star Wars, a lot of them as well. Certainly, as Lee mentioned, I do think it's a bit slow, but he's a bit pacey. But the view of the Enterprise with Scotty and Kirk and the wee capsules, beautifully shot, and the model looks amazing. And in many other shots throughout the movie, it looks superb. It really does. So the visuals are really good. The only thing that puts them off slightly for the effects is the going to warp speed sequence, which reminds me of the John Pertwee title sequence. I don't know if you get that, JT, as well. Yeah. So.
Well, it's improved on the director's edition.
Yeah.
It's improved on the director's edition.
Someone's just mentioned 2001 in the chat.
Yes.
I was going to say, if you look at this movie and you look at 2001, the parallels between the two storylines. You both have got a spaceship that leaves Earth to meet an alien unknown entity. Both have a main character going on a journey through us, like a Star Tunnel type thing. And both of them had someone at the end merging with the entity to become something else. In 2001, it's the Star Child, when the astronaut Dave Bowman changes. And in this one, it's Decker and Vija. But the Star Trek movie has a happier ending, I think. 2001
it has to. It's Star Trek, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's one of the few. I can't remember really, but I think it's the only Star Trek film where there is a genuinely traditional, the original series happy ending. Oh, we're all on the bridge and ha ha ha, because it goes off again. After that, doesn't it? You don't quite get that again. Hello to Alphabet Cat. Good to see you. Star Trek: The Motion Picture probably doesn't get the credit it deserves. And then Alphabet Cat also tells us I first saw it on non-certificate rental Betamax during the early 1980s.
Betamax. I remember that.
Betamax. Yeah. We weren't that, but I saw it on VHS.
Kirsty's shaking her head.
Yeah.
Google it, Kirsty. Google it. Okay. Yeah.
John Cartwright's with us. Hiya, John. Great movie, great soundtrack, 4K. Watch it frequently and never watch the rubbish we get now. And that you and millions of other Star Trek fans. Radium. Hello, Radium. Nice to see you. I think they were going for a 2001 SO vibe to the film rather than copying Star Wars.
Yeah. Right decision. If they tried to copy Star Wars, they might have gotten favourable reviews. Comparing the two.
But they are two different beasts, aren't they? Star Trek isn't quite. I mean, if they just altered Star Trek, it wouldn't have been Star Trek just to compete with Star Wars. It finds its way, to be honest, as well. I think this is a lovely way of reintroducing the Star Trek universe to the worldwide public.
And that's, if you look at it, JT, as what was said before, that's what it was meant to be. It was meant to be a reset, that hard reset for phase 2. So as we say beautifully at the start, it does set everything up. It introduces the characters, as you've said, guys, one by one, to introduce them to a whole new audience. You can see where the whole television writing influence was coming in there. And what it done was it set the scene for everything that would come after it. It done a lot of the groundwork. Here's what you need to know if you've never been to it before. And then we get into the action, the story, and the character development in the following, in terms of the original guys, obviously the next 5 films after that, taking us up to the Undiscovered Country.
Yeah. I mean, if it hadn't been for this as well, Lee, and the success of this and moving it on, we would never have got the Next Generation. We would never have got the S9. We would never have got Voyager, and that's where I stop.
And I think, well, what we're doing, I mean, you say there, if it wasn't for the success of this, it's an interesting one. Originally budgeted at 15 million, ballooned to 44, made, I think, just shy of 140 million, which was a lot, but not enough for what Paramount were expecting.
They were expecting a lot more.
A lot more. What they done, as you've already said, is they moved Gene Roddenberry to the side, and they stopped viewing it as a film property, but viewed it as a TV property. And they brought in a guy called Harv Bennett. And if you know Star Trek, Harv Bennett was amazing. He changed everything. And he was able to look at it for what it was as a television property and manage budgets, manage storylines. And he really, really got it. And in fact, I think Harv Bennett and Rick Berman, I think, are the two names that really changed Trek for the better.
Well, you're still feeling the repercussions of their changes today, sort of. Although they've just tried to change it all again.
It was a soft reboot with them, but they kept it to the core of the show.
Yeah, definitely. Darren is saying to us, guys, Darren Reed, confession time. Well, that's fine, my son. You confess away. That's what we're here for. I think the only Star Trek film I've ever seen is the original or Next Generation crossover one, which was called Generations. Will I be frog marched out in disgrace? Absolutely. Yes, you will.
You, me, both probably, yeah. So.
Of course you're not, Darren. Of course you're not. Hopefully what we're going to be doing here as well, like with Kirsty down there, she's new to this as well. Look at her, she's looking so innocent. So hopefully we're going to inspire some people to go and watch this because it is a fab film. So Darren, I hope you're going to be able to go and source a copy or watch it on the telly, because you do catch it to this day on one of our many millions of channels now in the UK. And even then, when I catch it, I find myself sitting down, Lee, and watching the thing. You know,
we're quite lucky just now, as you mentioned. The rights for a lot of the Star Trek films are split just now between Channel 5, also which is owned by Paramount ultimately, and you'll catch a lot of the shows on 5-star late Saturday night or Sunday mornings, which is really
their
good.
records. Yeah. No, it's true though, and it's a great thing, you know, if you watch them as well. Just if you ever get the chance to watch the motion picture, do it. I recommend it. Steve Braddock is saying William Shatner said they felt more like background characters compared to Ilia and Decker. They worked hard to put in lots of familiar characters best for the fans, which are the genesis for Khan. And Rick Storm saying to us, Star Trek is Navy submarines, Star Wars is the Air Force. Get that? I do get that. I do get that. Maybe it's the outfits. Talking of which, the outfits in this. I mean, I have to say, Kirsty was talking about the element where Kirk gets, you know, the what do they call it? The royal tour of the Enterprise.
Yeah.
Which has sort of become a sort of tradition, I feel. And apparently all the captains, whether you see it or not, get that tour now. You know, it harkens back to it. I just think from the moment you go to Starfleet Academy, the proper Starfleet Academy, I'll add.
Yes.
I just think this is Star Trek. I feel this. Okay, this is a different environment. It's not just the Bridge of the Enterprise that you've seen in the original series episode. This is Starfleet. You get a sort of thrill to say, oh, you've actually seen Starfleet now. This is where. But when Kirk appears, I don't know. I just get shivers because I just think there's the legend that is William Shatner as Captain Kirk.
Admiral.
Captain Kirk. He's an admiral in this. You're absolutely right. I love his outfit. Why didn't they keep these outfits throughout the film? I just don't know. But I just think he's there and he makes his presence. So when Stephen was saying there, they felt like they were subsidiary characters. That surprised me. I did not know that because to me, it's still the big three.
Going back to what you're saying about the entrance of the characters, certainly with Kirk, is when he arrives in the future Earth. It looks great when you see future Earth in the 21st century whenever it's set. That I think that's wonderful. It really is. It looks really good. You know.
It does. Yeah. It depends what version you get as well, because of course it's been changed a little bit since.
Yeah.
What are you saying, darling?
I like the outfit, but at the beginning, the outfits that they wear when they're on the ship, that I really didn't like that at all. Just the colours and the jumpsuits and how.
Doesn't he look handsome, Kirsty? Isn't he a very handsome man?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like when you first see him properly, you just think, "Wow! Like that's a superior figure. That's an admiral. That's a captain."
Yeah.
Put that away with like Doctor Who as well. That as soon as he walks in the room, like Kirk walks in the room, you're comfortable because you're like that's someone in charge.
Yeah.
And like that with the Doctor, like John Pertwee would walk on the screen, you go, yeah, that's the Doctor. You know that there's going to be a problem, but they'll figure it out, and you're in for a good time. But when you see him on the first time in that uniform, you're just like, wow, that is. And as well, like you've grown up with that with the original series, now seeing them in the movie, that you've seen his progression as a captain, and you're just like, wow, look at this man.
Yeah.
I do agree in that. I was like, yeah, you are a very good looking man. But someone is also saying in the chat, the uniform is hilarious with the low cut V and the little bit of the carpet that's going on as well. I did enjoy that for the 70s.
Yeah.
The bit in the Space 1999 influence.
Oh yeah.
I think someone was looking at that before they designed them.
Maybe. I mean, at this point, of course, we meet again Admiral Kirk as he is now, and he's been for 2.5 years since bringing the Enterprise back after his 5-year mission. He's been the chief of Starfleet operations.
Yeah.
So it was a desk job at that point, was it?
Yes,
it was.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
and they seen that's what he doesn't like.
No,
that's probably so many times you can push a bit of paper around a desk.
Yeah.
And when he goes back to the Enterprise to do that shakedown visit, it's you can tell he's itching. He's getting there, and there's that great line where he's with Scotty, and he goes, "They gave her back to me, Scotty," and he goes, I hardly think so. It wasn't a gift. You know what I mean? But that's what it is. He will use his power. He will do anything he needs. And this is a side where we always know that Kirk has a manipulative side because we see him use it to his benefit so many times. But this was the first time.
Again.
This was the first time that we actually had a wink and a nod with it at the same time. Because we know you want to do it because if you don't, it's just not going to be the same film. So it's nice to see him pull that little bit of power to show that he is so important.
Yeah,
I like that banter where he does a Scottish impression of Scotty.
Yeah.
Well, tries to. Yeah,
he goes, "You're right, you're right."
Yeah.
First question about the guy who played Scotty: was he actually Scottish?
No,
no way, Kirsty, no way.
The story was, the story was he was in World War II, and one of his friends was Scottish, and he took on the accent for Star Trek.
Okay,
that's the story.
Yeah,
didn't know that.
The Scottish accent reminds me. We've all got a friend like that maybe just for fun or after one too many drinks they try and do an accent of like a Scottish accent or number one, and it sounds a bit could be borderline. That's what I thought. The Scottish accent was hilarious.
I'd forgotten.
If you dig out Outer Limits or The Twilight Zone, you'll catch him in a couple of episodes of those series, and he's not doing a Scottish accent at all. So
just his Canadian accent.
Exactly. Yeah.
James Doohan. There you go, cursed.
And he's missing a finger.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
he lost a finger in the war. And if you actually look at the way they actually shoot it, you never actually see all his fingers in scenes.
It's going to be interesting.
That's your point for this week.
It's going to be interesting to see, Kirsty, it's going to be interesting to see your reaction to how these characters. I want to use the word develop, but that's not necessarily true. How they change through these films for the original crew. Jamie 9526. Pajamas are key though, same as the Enterprise. This was the era of the space shuttle. Dom goes.
It's like a onesie, isn't it? To be honest.
Actually, do you know when I was watching it this afternoon, the penny suddenly dropped. Some of the outfits they wear in this are the next generation. The next generation seems to be influenced because they're jumpsuits.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh God, I've only just seen that after all these years. Because I've usually just gone bland. But I've actually looked this time because the only one I liked was Admiral Kirk's. I thought that was beautiful and really suited him. Had they all been like that through the film, I might have paid more attention to the costumes. But because they're beige and they're brown and I've never liked them. Domgo is saying, I always thought this movie looked like Space 1999. Oh.
Yeah. Those costumes are very similar.
Yeah, so at least they had a bit of colour in them. Dalek Shalom, Kirk's more like Ahab in this. He's obsessively leading them all to his death. That's a great point, actually. This is a different sort of Kirk. As you're saying, Med, he's absolutely delighted that he's got the Enterprise, but nothing was going to stop him. Nothing was going to stop him getting that ship back. He's fed up with the desk job. He's not interested. And he's got the ship. But he is slightly different, isn't he? Because he's out as if to say, okay, I've had 2.5 years at a desk, but I'm going to prove myself here to be the rip-roaring captain that my legend did over 5 years. There's an element there. Because, and again, as somebody mentioned in the chat, the spats between him and Decker.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a totally different ship in it as well, that he remembers. And he says to him that line, so you're going to nursemaid me, like, nurture me to what the ship is going to be, how it works and that.
Yeah. We've got John Roberts. Hold that thought. John Roberts saying to us, the fabulous fan-made show Star Trek Continues bridges the gap from the original series to the motion picture. That's interesting. And Hartnell's Ghost is saying to us, Scotty wasn't Scottish. Well, every day's a school day. Did you not know that, Hartnell's Ghost?
She's a hit of sarcasm there, GT, I think, yeah.
Oh, I think. Oh, good. Okay, that's got over my head.
I'm hoping anyway, yeah.
Craig Dunlop is with us saying, I met James Doohan years ago. Much as Scott's malign his Scottish accent, it was really strange to talk to him with his Canadian drawling accent. Bless you. Great to see you all. Keep your chats coming. Yeah, so with Kirk, there's also this thing that's going on here that he's trying to recreate what he's had before. Everybody's back in his positions except a certain Vulcan. And then he replaces Spock with another Vulcan. There's that line, which is very, I don't know if it, because sometimes I think Kirk can be emotionally detached in this film. I'm not going to talk about the next one, but in this one, because he loses in the transporter malfunction accident, that horrific scene, actually. He loses.
It's a great scene, isn't it? It's wonderfully. It's quite macabre, but it's really good to watch, isn't it?
It is, because it builds up this thing, urgency, doesn't it? It builds up this urgency that the Enterprise is going out before it should do. That's never followed up, because you know who comes along and fixes it all. But you know, it's a real case at this point. You're thinking, oh my goodness, this thing has been rebuilt. You know, it's again, as somebody said in the chat, the Enterprise is a character in this, which is lovely. But you've got that bit where the horrific accident happens. He's affected by it. Shatner plays it beautifully. He is affected by it, but he shakes it off quickly, doesn't he? In the corridor, I'm lost. Gets back to it.
Yeah.
And then he says to Decker, "I still want a Vulcan there."
Yeah.
He's slightly sort of bloody-minded.
And Spock's entrance as he returns is superb. But a really cool entrance he has.
Yeah, with the line, "Why it's Mr. Spock."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He looks great in those robes he's wearing. He looks superb, those Vulcan robes.
The camera work is good as well. When he out-focused all the other characters, and it's just
what is that?
Shatner.
I've never understood that. It's like Robert has put Vaseline on the lens for certain people to maybe erase them out a little bit. I've never quite understood why.
It's deliberate. I think it was experimental for the 70s. They would want to do the different type of camera work for the film.
He's clearly watched the Web Planet, GT, probably. So
I don't know if that was intentional though, was it? It is interesting though. The whole I love the fact that the characters. Well, there are three main characters at this point. No disrespect to the usual crew, but you've got Kirk, you've got Decker, you know, and Spock has made his presence felt. I love the fact that you've met him on Vulcan, and then they leave him for a little while. So you think, is that it? Is that, you know? I wonder if the fans at the time sitting there would think, oh, come on, then when's Nimoy turning up again?
Yeah. Well, originally, when they were going to do the TV show pilot, he didn't want to be involved in anything Star Trek anymore.
No, that's right.
So that's an negotiated his contract, and then last minute he said, "I want to be in." So that's to rewrite the script to put him back in.
He was last
minute addition to the film.
I'm so pleased he did, because he go, as we'll talk about through this series, he really becomes a real matriarch of Star Trek, doesn't he? He really grabs it eventually and says,
becomes a producer and writer and director.
But he had two autobiographies, didn't he? He did his first autobiography called "I Am Not Spock." I guess in the period when he wanted to be away from the connections, and then later on he made another book saying "I Am Spock."
Yeah.
Cha-ching. Yeah.
Well, he was doing well out of it. I mean,
yeah.
But it's this film. Yeah, it's this film where he suddenly gets into it, isn't it? Really, I think it wouldn't be the same without him, quite frankly.
No, it wouldn't.
The scenes of Vulcan, I think, are really well shot as well. I think unfortunately, I think the effects for that are slightly dated, but I love that alien planet section on Vulcan's great.
The director's cut improves upon that, Paul.
It's fantastic.
Really? Right, okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah, because in the original film it's black, isn't it? The sky.
Yeah.
All right.
In the director's cut, they change it so it ties in with what comes after. So you've got a lovely burnt orange type sky.
Yeah, it's really lovely.
It's still very alien, but they do alter it a little bit. It's nice.
Well, Paul, they filmed it in a parking lot in Paramount.
Oh, really? Did they? Wow.
Yeah.
It's a cool parking lot, Lex. Yeah.
I like this from Sadeko saying to us, Kirk is fairly used to lives lost, but it still upset him. Maybe that's the reason, Sadeko, why, because bearing in mind, we're dealing with humans here. This is the human story. This isn't really about aliens. It's about humans and humanity. Kirk being the biggest example of humanity you could possibly get in sci-fi. But you've got this scene where he shakes it off a bit. Maybe it's because he's used in a sad way after 5 years being out there in the unknown. Maybe he's just got to that point where he's quite hard. I mean, we see it later on in the films, don't we, where it really affects him death. So we can come to that. But at this point, I just think it's very interesting, that particular one, where he's just able to just shake it off quickly and say, "I've got a job to do."
There was that scene where the two people being beamed up unfortunately died because of a malfunction. What surprised me was shortly after that they fixed the equipment, and Bones doesn't want to come that way. I don't blame him. He comes up on the shuttle, but two other folks come up that way, and someone asked a question: "Where was the doctor not with you?" And they just looked puzzled, like I don't know why. They must have been aware of what happened a few minutes beforehand.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I wouldn't want to be beamed up for another day until they'd really sorted out, and 100 other people had gone before me.
Thingy beamed up, didn't she, as well? But you don't see it in the scene. Decker's love interest,
Ilea.
He beamed up, but we didn't see the scene.
No, you're right. Yeah,
you're right. Yeah, I mean, I think that. Oh, come on, let's face it. That whole thing, you just know. I knew as a little boy that when they're turning around saying there's somebody who's not going to get on the transporter pads.
I know it was him. Yeah,
you knew. I just knew.
And Kirk did as well, didn't he?
Who else would it be?
I love it. I love him checking his organs to make sure they're all there. That's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah. As a doctor, he knows where they're all supposed to be. And scrambled. It's just brilliant, though, isn't it? And again, there's a lovely hark back to the past here.
Banter,
where Kirk appeals to him. I need you.
Yeah.
It's brilliant that two old friends reunited after probably 2.5 years.
Yeah. He said, why is it always a thing? He said, at Southside. And he said, you drafted me.
Yeah.
Because you're about to retire, wasn't he? So.
I think he was retired, wasn't he? I think it was a long time ago.
Hence the beard.
Yeah. He is brilliant. I mean, I love this scene. And you just think, hooray, here's another one. Because these are the three main players that we now have in place, aren't
they? Trinity, isn't it? The Trinity.
Yeah, the Star Trek Trinity. You're absolutely right. I want to put out as well that there's a really nice scene I like, just for the reason that it's treating fans properly, and it's the scene in the main hall where the briefing is. How lucky is this? If you don't know, I'm sure you all do, but these are fans of Star Trek. A lot of them have petitioned over 10 years to bring the thing back. You know, they've been supportive. They've had conventions over in America. And then as a reward, they're approached to say, who wants to be in a crowd scene on the Enterprise? I'm sure they wet themselves, and quite right too.
I never knew that. I never knew that.
Yeah.
And Scotty's, the actor who plays Scotty, his two sons were involved in the film.
That's right.
That's delightful.
That's how you treat your fan base.
Yeah. What I like about this particular arrangement of people is, with all the kind of Federation crew, they've got occasional little alien members, which I always thought was a throwback to the cartoons. Remember the crew member in the cartoon, an alien, which I thought was a little kind of bit of continuity with that, which I thought was quite nice. But having more aliens other than Vulcans or Romulans or whatever, that was quite nice to have that little visual on it, you know.
Having Rad back as well, just for a small cameo.
Oh yeah, in the transporter room.
She was in the briefing as well, and that's the last time we saw her.
Yeah. Well,
in this film.
Again, it's those little things though that are rewarding a fan base that has been so patient and so proactive. You know, in this film, just those little things to be able to say, "Oh God, I know who that is," or whatever. I mean, you couldn't possibly do too much, but I think it's nice. I just love that scene because it's just, compared to where we are today in 2026, I just think that's how you treat your fan base. You love them and you thank them for all their support, because, you know, if it wasn't for us fans, the same for Doctor Who, they wouldn't have come back and they wouldn't have been successful and they wouldn't have kept people in jobs for years and made them money, quite frankly. We've got that from Radium. Christopher Doohan plays Scotty in Star Trek Continues, the fan-made series. That's great to know. And this one from Funky. Bones has one hell of a medallion when he beams up.
He does look like he's just come out of Saturday Night Fever, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Well, he looks like one of the last Bee Gees or something.
Oh, I love it. PVFS is with us. Hello, how are you, lovely? Good to see you. Kirk apparently knew all about the fine print. And Domgo is saying to us, it's only been about 12 years since Star Trek, the original series. Why have they aged so badly? It's not 12 years, is it? It's more short. It's less than that.
10 since the last Super Saiyan.
69, was it 68?
Oh, I see. In the real life, you mean, Dom? Go, don't you? In real life, I think in the
that's one of the bonuses of this first movie. They all look the right age, because as they get on, they get a bit too old for me personally. But I think they have that wonderful youth about them. It's only 10 years since the series ended, which makes them more convincing, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah, I know what you mean. Again, it's this chemistry thing. Richard is saying this to us. Richard Brooks saying beautifully. It is so rare to have three leads that gel so well. It's a wonderful trio. And bearing in mind that they haven't worked together for 10 years. They've picked it up again beautifully, haven't they, these three? They're absolutely fantastic, the three of them together. That's when Spock comes back onto the bridge, the way that the line is delivered. What did he say? So help me, I'm so pleased to see you, or something along those lines.
Yeah. And Spock's like, whatever.
Uhura says, it's how we feel.
Yeah. I just love that line, though, from the Doctor.
He shrugs it off, don't he? He says, I'm just going to go to the engineer now.
Yeah, I'm going to check these equations.
Spock's like, don't embarrass me, I'm off, you know.
Yeah.
Well, he's still finding his level, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's half human side as well, isn't he? Comes out later.
Well, it's part of the character, isn't it? It's adding this mystery element to him, because he's going to go through this Kolonar, get rid of all emotion, and then suddenly he's getting all these messages from this thing. It makes sense. It's, again, like the guys are saying in the chat, it's science fiction.
Yeah.
I've got a question here for us. Let's go to this. This is from Dot Martin. Dot Martin saying to us, was it explained why Voyager kept calling itself Vija? Yeah, it was.
It's because you couldn't read the whole name. That was it, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, because it was scratched out.
Yeah. So the probe, the idea probe sees Vija.
I wonder where that's where they got the name for Star Trek Voyager from.
No. No. Where they got the name of that is it's voyaging through space, you dafty. What else we got here? It's a pity, says Dot Martin again, that Grace Lee Whitney didn't have a bigger role in the film. I get it. I do. I get it, but I can understand why they didn't. They have to concentrate on establishing the big ones.
They probably threw her a bone to give her a small role, so she evolved. You know.
But she came back, didn't she? In a few more. Yeah.
I don't know. I'll discover that when I see the other films.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Kerry Avon, hello mate, how are you? Hey, it's funny when you think that out of all the original movies, that the motion picture was a link to seeking new life forms, as all the other movies have some bad guy causing cautious. What's that? I can't see those.
Chaos.
Yeah, that's. A lot of Star Trek fans have said this, guys, to me over the years, and I think Lee, you've said this to me as well over the years. This is more akin to the original series, this version of Star Trek.
But it actually cribs a season 2 episode to an extent, the script. Lee will probably know. Is it called The Changeling?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I know the one you mean. Yeah.
Oh, the little robot thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know the one you mean,
yeah. They take it on board the Enterprise, and it's a probe that came from Earth that's undergone a transformation by meeting another probe, and it's become destructive.
Is that the one where at the end where Kirk and Spock have to run to the transport room holding it and run it to the transport room to space?
Yeah, I think so. I've not seen it for a while, but I read up on it today. Yeah, that sounds about right, Lex.
Dave Harding saying to us, I love how when both McCoy and Spock come on board, you can sense Kirk's frustration that they don't immediately fall into their own friendship. It does take a bit of time.
Oh, yeah.
And it's because you've got McCoy doesn't want to be there, very Doctor Who companion. And then you've got Spock, I'm being very moody and mysterious. You know, I can't tell you quite yet what's going on. That's why. But again, it shows, I think, the urgency in Kirk's character in this film. Things have to be done. We have to get back into the routine. Yes, we've had 2.5 years away, but we've got to get back into this routine. I know wherever each of you is supposed to be on this ship. Why aren't we moving as quickly as I am?
It's like that line where McCoy says, you're pushing it. You're pushing them to...
You're pushing.
Yeah. And he talks as a doctor, medical doctor. He says, calm down. They know the jobs.
That's why Kirk needs him.
Yeah.
To be quite honest. I love the bit, says Dot Martin, where Kirk keeps telling Spock to sit down.
Oh, yeah. Will you sit down? Will you sit down?
And Mark Greaves saying it shows also that sci-fi doesn't have to end with a huge space battle, and you still get a satisfactory ending.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah, agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, the original ending for the film, they had a storyboard in the documentary, was after they dealt with Vija and it went away and wherever it went in the galaxy, there was supposed to be a Klingon battle with the Enterprise.
That would have been too much.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
they
it? It would have
couldn't
been too
afford
much.
it with the budget. It just ceased there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
think
think
the
that would
lovely
have
thing,
taken away from the story a little bit.
Yeah. I thought that.
Totally.
I
Yeah.
thought that.
Yeah. Plus, it would have made it another extra couple of hours. 'Cause you have to think, I think the fact that they keep the Klingons right at the very beginning, just as that indication they're still around, and look what we've done to them, and aren't they brilliant?
Would have been
'Cause it's
far
such
too
a good
long.
scene. Yeah, but they're done. And again, it's just that little bit of reward to the fans that have waited so long. There's your Klingons. That's what they're going to look like, but you've got to come back.
For the next installment.
And they make them wait.
Yeah.
They do. I'm not sure how quick they come back.
Oh, well, that'll be
I
super for you to
know,
find
I
out,
know,
Andy
I know.
Unit. Yes. You'll be finding that out very, very soon in this series, I tell you. You're watching Who's Views. Nice to see you all. Thank you for joining us. We have just started our series celebrating 60 years of Star Trek, the world's second longest running science fiction series in the world here in 2026. We are going to be looking at the Star Trek movies. We've also got plans to look at an original series episode, a Next Generation episode, a DS9 episode, and a Voyager episode, trying to cram it in all this year as we pay tribute to a massive, huge, successful, brilliant, up until possibly recent times, franchise. Absolutely brilliant. But getting back to the motion picture, okay, it's interesting because we have the main three and they are brilliant. Let's face it, these three are just fantastic. You, in my eyes, for many, many years, and Lee won't like this, I always said you can't do another Star Trek without those three. How wrong was I?
Well, JT, well.
Yeah, we'll probably talk about that. When
I think you're off Lee's Christmas card list now. I think.
Wonderful scenes from them all as well, but we do have to mention that there are two brand new characters who are brought into this simply to get to the end.
Yeah,
aren't they really? We've got Ilea and we've got Decker. They're quite tragic, really, these two. They are literally the Star Trek equivalent of star-crossed lovers.
Yeah.
you could see a bit of Riker and Deanna Troi in them.
That's exactly what they are. And if you actually look at them, if you look at the character that actually took Decker and Ilea there, and they turned them into Riker, Troi, and Data.
Oh, good point.
In the Next Generation, if you look at it, Ilea is Troi, also that humanoid beta, and even the same line in there where both Ilea and Troi in Encounter Farpoint use the line of, "Do you remember what I taught you?"
Yeah,
which is what is implying that there was a historic relationship between the two there and everything else.
Yeah,
and again in Phase 2, it would have been
them.
It would have been Will in charge of the Enterprise when Shatner went off for his 13 episodes that was contracted, and she would have came in there in that Spock if Zon didn't work out role. So it's interesting that they were both under contract. It was a pay or play deal for them.
Yeah,
and again they did feature in that pilot episode, and as I say, they reworked it the way they had to.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, Collins has gone on to say he loved the part. He could have done more with it if the opportunity had been there.
Yeah.
But he loves the fact he went to all those conventions and people came and they said, not thank you for your role, but thank you for giving us Commander Riker.
Yeah.
Which I think is a really, really interesting line.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a line that got me in the movie was Ilea's line when she says about her oath to celibacy, and I wonder if that was a line to stop Kirk thinking anything naughty.
Well, in the extended cut, the TV cut, there's a scene with Chekhov and Sulu, and they're eyeing hair,
Yeah.
And
Yes. Yeah.
and then one of the characters says, "You can't with her because she's got this oath."
Yeah.
And they go quiet then.
It's a very
wasn't
strange
that?
thing to put in, though, isn't it? I mean, I don't think
Yeah.
it adds anything to the character at all.
Mm.
I love the
Not
bit where,
really.
where she first comes onto the bridge and Chekhov's eyes do light up, though.
Yeah, and it cuts it from there, but the extended cut is when they start talking, Sulu and Chekhov, about it.
Yeah. I've never thought of that before, Lee, what you were saying there. But I mean, I've always there was always something about the Ilea and Decker relationship where even as a young boy, I was thinking, oh, are they or aren't they going to? I mean, I didn't know what celibacy was at 9 or 10 years old. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I've only just rediscovered this, quite frankly. But I didn't know what that meant. But I did know that Captain Kirk liked the ladies. I do remember that.
Yeah.
James Bond in space.
Yeah. But then as the film progresses...
An alien in every port, I think that's it, yeah.
Yeah. But it's totally different for Kirk because he's not interested because he's so bloody minded on the mission. You know, we're only 5 hours from Earth. We're only 4 hours from Earth, blah, 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 whatever it's going to be. That's great. That's adding something else to him. But when you've got the whole thing with Ilea and Decker, I thought that was quite interesting to the point that when Ilea is kidnapped and, of course, murdered, I felt that. I don't know about you guys. I felt that. I thought for a brand new character with no previous history, didn't know who she was, you've been introduced to her for this film alone, and you're quite getting to like her.
Yeah.
I think I was a little bit upset actually as a 9 or 10-year-old. Just think, hang on a minute, what?
You feel for Spock in that scene because he tries to save a life and tries to get himself bumped off, but he gets taken back.
Yeah,
tries to save her.
In the novelization, the probe actually takes another member of the crew, as well as it's just a security guard. It takes the security guard first, then it takes Ilea, and then Kirk realizes that they may not be dead; they may have just been transported. So they send a message saying, "This is a carbon life form that needs oxygen, accepted to try and keep them alive." But they don't know what's happened to them.
And they were going to film that scene, but they cut it out.
Okay. So it was in the draft script, which is why it's in the book.
It was the draft script.
It's in the book. Yeah, right. I never read that book. It is a bit of a shocker, though, isn't it, when you come to that? Because I just remember being stunned at the time when I first saw it, going, and then you've got this whole other mystery of where, why, what do they do with her? At this point, I'm also thinking, Kirsty, they're going to rescue her. And that goes out the window when this turns up.
Yeah.
The female version of Data?
Yeah. But as science fiction fans, even at a young age, you're told it's a probe. You know exactly she's dead.
Yeah.
You know, she's gone.
There's a scene later on in it with the hairband.
Oh, yeah.
And the humanity of Ilea comes back for a brief second, and she touches Decker's face, and then she takes off the hairband, and it's the probe again.
Yeah,
just for that split second. Yeah,
again, different to the Star Wars they were wanting to compete with because it's got those lovely human emotion elements in it. Star Wars can do that, and I love Star Wars.
I like the scene where they have a private conversation with Decker. And all of a sudden, you hear this bang, and it's here. The probe smashes the doors.
Yeah.
It's done very well. I love the way they treated her voice.
Oh, yes. Yeah, definitely.
That's effective.
You heard a story about when in the Phase 2 TV series, she didn't have a shaved head then. And when they were doing the movie, she was getting really upset when they were shaving all her long black hair off. She was very emotional when she shaved her hair.
They were giving her massages and conditioners and stuff, weren't they, on her scalp to make sure that the hair came back properly, which it did.
Because if you're a true fan, you know commitment, you'd have shaved your head off just for tonight, wouldn't you?
There's actual photographs of her not looking very happy about it.
I remember being on Swap Shop at the time this film was coming out in 1979. So December 1979 it would have been. And she was really, really selling the film.
Yeah.
And I remember being very impressed with, you know, what she was saying about it. And she was saying that she had to have the bald head and all this sort of stuff. She seemed like a really nice lady. She's no longer with us, unfortunately.
Was she a Bollywood actress originally?
And she was originally a model that ended up getting cast in an Indian movie. It wasn't Bollywood as such, but yeah, from there she'd go on to be featured in a few other US stuff. But when
she did look really frightened.
She was in Megaforce as well.
Yeah,
that's a good film.
Jamie9526 is saying Persis sold that fear when she was killed by the probe on the bridge.
Oh yeah.
That look.
You felt
Do you know what she looks at before she goes? It's Decker.
Yeah.
That's the last.
Yeah.
Thing she does.
But it is. You're right, Jamie. Her performance in that, it's horrific in a sense, isn't it? Because she suddenly knows she's in trouble. Oh God, yeah. Ugh. It's a brilliant scene. Dalek Shalom is saying to us, her oath and demeanor makes her principled, but makes it all the more tragic when the probe destroys her. Oh, it's true, isn't it? It really is true. Stephen O'Neill rightly saying, my oath of celibacy is on record, Captain. Some lovely quotes. And Bill Ari saying to us, had Decker or Alia worn red shirts, no one would have been surprised, but they didn't survive the film.
That would technically have been a spoiler, wouldn't it? Let's be honest.
Now Cool and Dry is saying something I don't know. Deltons have natural pheromones to induce sex and have the culture where many elements are based on sexual rituals. That's why the oath. Oh, interesting. There's so much about Star Trek I don't know. There's all these little bits and pieces. I love it. And thank you lot for sharing all these things. Ilea being killed, says Mark A. Wright, was the turning point for Kirk in this film. From this moment, he realized he'd been acting irrationally and starts to gradually become more like the Kirk we've known and loved. Mark, I totally agree with you. That's one of the points I was trying to get up to, with the fact that he's less gung-ho from that, because you see it in performance. He's a broken man at that point. Suddenly this death has had the impact. It's happened right in front of him. He was powerless to stop it, and it's possibly his fault. I'm going to say possibly, because I'm still not 100% convinced.
He slowly starts to trust Decker, his first officer, bit by bit in the film. After that scene, bit by bit.
Some great lines being quoted here as well from Stephen in the chat as well. But that whole I think what Mark's just said there, that whole scene, Shatner's realized there this is another element of his character, which has gone, hang on a minute, this is why he can change again, he can twist again, because he sits there, doesn't he? He's absolutely stunned, absolutely shocked. And this shows, as a few other films coming up do, Shatner's talent. I mean, what an actor this guy is. He's absolutely brilliant, isn't he?
He is.
He doesn't have a good rep, though, does he? He has his leg. He's not really seen as a major acting force in Hollywood.
No.
I never understood why.
I guess he's seen more of a TV actor rather than a movie actor.
Yeah.
Well, I think, Andy, and I'll put it to you, I think it's the snobbishness again. Because he was in a sci-fi franchise.
Yeah,
but he's great in other shows like Columbo and stuff like that. He's superb in those kind of things, you know.
He's great.
He's in an episode of Twilight Zone, isn't he?
Yeah. The one with the plane.
The passenger on the plane.
Yeah. Or the bogeyman that goes on, looks on this is the window.
That's
and he says, "There's somebody out there," and he thinks he's gone mad. But his first big break wasn't Twilight Zone. It was a black and white horror film that they've recently discovered.
Wow.
Really?
And they put it on. I think they put it on Shelf actually, and he said they nearly lost the film, and it was one of his first big movie breaks.
Wow.
Okay, didn't know that.
I don't know what the title is, but when they found the film, remastered it, and it's out there to buy now. So,
is he Canadian?
He is.
He's Canadian Jewish from his family.
Right. Okay, that might be another reason why Hollywood didn't.
Because he was Canadian.
See him as an A-list.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I've always thought though it's because he's in Star Trek typecast, and yet years later, in a gorgeous little film, which was quite funny, but it made me laugh, called Miss Congeniality. He shows his comic timing in that. He's brilliant in Miss Congeniality as well. I mean, this guy's a talent, and Star Trek is so bloody lucky to have him. Really.
But when he does comedy, he's a wonderful twinkle, hasn't he? Which is great, you know.
Have you heard this Rocket Man?
Yeah,
yes.
I have a signed copy of Rocket Man by William Shatner. But you quite, Kirsty, we mentioned Boston Legal, which I think just opened Shatner up to a whole different
for some reason. Lee's mic isn't working for me.
The amazing Dean Spader to play with as well. So
he was in an episode of Sequest, and he was very good in that with
Was he?
Roy Scheider. He played like a drug lord, and he was fantastic in the role.
I just think it's absolutely fantastic performance, and again, it's in here. There's lots more from Shatner to come, as we all know, in the films that continue on. But here in the motion picture, brilliant. Again, with this character with Kirk, there's another element, isn't it? You know the bit where Spock leaves the Enterprise, which is this bit.
Yeah.
Because he needs more information. He has to have the information so that he can assess what is going on and sort things out. There's that lovely scene where Kirk says to Chekhov, "Get him back." No, wait, because he suddenly clicks, doesn't he, as to what Spock's doing?
Yeah.
And then he says, "I'm going after him." Well, he doesn't say that, but he implies, right, get a fix on him. I'm going to go. I love that because, again, it's that bond between these characters, isn't it? You know, Kirk would only do that if it was Spock.
You feel for Spock when he does that mind meld, where it's taking too much information for his brain.
Yeah.
He sees all those flashes of photographs and civilizations and all that going through him. Fantastic scene.
It is a brilliant scene.
And his famous neck pinch scene. He said, "Now that's Spock again. He's back."
You mean when he does that on the security? Yeah. It's a nod to the original show.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it? I'm glad they kept it all in as well, because it's all part of his character, isn't it? And the myth of the Vulcans.
Yeah.
You know,
mind you, the actor that he does that too, that drops around, he turns around and he looks like that's an 80s look. That is a little bit pantomime-ish slightly.
I think it's quite cute. I think he's just getting.
I think it's good.
His shot there.
I think it's good.
Yeah.
What are you doing to me, Spock? Oh.
It's almost like, that feels nice. Before he passes out.
In Shatner's autobiography, says Cool and Dry, he said he had a salary ceiling on him for years. The films lifted it. I should bloody well hope they did. How ridiculous is that? This industry has had problems since its first day, hasn't it? With one thing or another. Doc Martin is saying Spock got quite emotional when recovering from the Vija Minx meld. Again, Nimoy. That scene where he
almost cracks a smile, doesn't he? At one point,
he does.
Yeah,
he does. But again, I think like for him, for Spock, he's found the goal that's taken him from Vulcan. At this point, I think it's lovely that he's so relieved. He now understands. I know what this is. Yeah, and Nimoy plays it beautifully.
His human side comes out of him when he starts laughing out loud. In that scene. Yeah. Because he's half human from his mother's side, and he just he's bringing out his humanity a little bit of Spock.
Yeah.
And at that scene when he grabs Kirk's hand, he says, "Vija can't feel a bond of friendship, or a laugh, or a cry. It's just cold metal."
See, this is one of the things that, as a kid, I found quite boring, and again, I think it's the beautiful thing about age. Because all these wonderful scenes, I think they're absolutely fantastic. I understand that a lot of people would say the motion picture, it's too wordy, there's not enough action. But I think that's what makes it as science fiction.
Yeah.
You know,
you've got to have with your first film, the prologue to start it. And then when you do your sequels, then you know who the characters all are.
Yeah. This is nice from Jamie. That's Spock's arc. He was shedding emotions at the start and realized by the end he does not want that. He doesn't want to be barren like Vija. Yeah. Vija really brings it home to him, doesn't it? You could end up like this. Yeah. Frightening. And Jess has got a question for you all. Jess wants to know, do we think the journey of the probe was somewhat limited in what it revealed?
You mean the potential for all it knows is never really explored?
Yeah, Jess, or do you mean the ILEA probe was somewhat limited? Let us know, and we'll answer that for you.
Voyager did an episode similar to this, didn't he?
Did they?
With a space NASA shuttle pilot, and he's taken by this sort of like entity thing, and the Delta Flight finds this NASA shuttle.
I can't remember that. I'll have to go back.
It's a fantastic episode.
I have to remember. Yeah, I don't know. This one from Dalek Shalom. The scene of the Enterprise journeying into the belly of the beast and its scale makes sense of the camera lingering on the scale of the Enterprise earlier. I mean, again, we were saying earlier, weren't we, that, you know, the effects in this are amazing. And you watch it today, and okay, you get the director's cover. Apparently, there's been some CGI added. You can see the little bits that's been added. But when you look at these effects from back in the day, they are, I mean, again, this is no comparison to Star Wars. They are two totally different things. And Paramount may have been a little bit upset by this, by the fact they didn't get, you know, the same things that Star Wars did. But they asked for science fiction, and they brought back Star Trek, and they got it, Lee.
They've definitely got the same high standards as Star Wars has. You can compare them together, and I think they hold up equally well both together. I think.
Eventually, sorry.
On you go, Lex.
Well, after that, ILM got a relationship with them, didn't he? Eventually,
yeah.
In the first film, they weren't together.
Yeah, but the tone. I mean, you can see that you wouldn't get that in Star Trek, in Star Wars. This is very Star Trek.
No.
Yeah.
What are you saying, Lee?
I was going to say, but if you look at it in relation to that Star Trek, Star Wars thing, Fox at the time, which bear in mind was the releaser of the original Star Wars films, was very much, it had a Fox style. You know what I mean? So yes, they were a major, but they were a minor major. Paramount was still coming off the grand success of things like the Godfather, Grease, Saturday Night Fever, all those storytelling films more than anything else, and that was very much an era of the Gulf and Western ownership of Paramount. I think it was. So while some people, and I think maybe this is probably more the press trying to reinvent history back at the time of, yes, maybe Star Trek, the motion picture, has been booted on because of the success of Star Wars. I think Paramount, I think the suits at Paramount probably actually knew what they were going to get and looked at it as a property, because bearing in mind, there wasn't a lot of intellectual property that could be reeled out time and time again back in the late 70s and early 80s. We hadn't really discovered that whole idea of IP mining, of franchise mining at that point. But they knew they had a TV property they wanted to transition into a film. They wanted to then, I mean, they've said that the idea for the next generation as a syndicated show had been around since the early 80s. So again, maybe they were looking at the longer plan for this. So maybe what we got was actually what in a story arc, the right thing.
There's one other franchise that kind of just beats this and Star Wars is Planet of the Apes. They started off, they had a series of like 5 movies, TV show, cartoon show, and they did loads of merchandise, and they were one of the first franchises to do that kind of thing. So that they started it, but then that's what we've got now, which is wonderful, you know.
Yeah. And again, you're quite right. That was a Fox piece, which I think is really interesting when you look at it.
Yeah.
And from that, Paramount went, what can we do next after Star Trek? And then it was Indiana Jones, and then the other franchises, didn't he? So Star Trek started the ball off.
Yeah. There's an awful lot to thank Star Trek the motion picture for, and that's why, you know, it's one of those things. I find that there's discussion around the whole thing. Oh, it's not like the others. I quite like the fact it's not like the others. It's very much a pilot movie. It's reintroducing everyone. It's bringing science fiction in a different way to what they've just had from Close Encounters and from Star Wars. They're bringing it back to a big screen. I just think it's great. Carwin is saying to us, the genius of the motion picture is the rebirth scene at the end of the film that clicks everything back into place. Until then, no one is really the characters we remember. In the end, they become the crew we knew. It's a good point, actually. Yeah,
the camera work for that Vija scene where it's got the different lighting with the red and all that. But the actress actually got temporary blindness from the lighting of the film in the finale.
Oh. Really?
Yeah, because they put too many lights in. The scene with the sparkling lights. She had to keep her eyes open, not blink at all. And then she got temporary blindness for a couple of days.
Yeah. Kerr Avon is saying to us, Star Trek is sci-fi and Star Wars is fantasy, and then there's Blake 7, which is proper sci-fi.
Can I just jump in there, JT? I'm reading the comments here, and just you mentioned that difference between sci-fi and fantasy and everything else. Bill Lowry 3898 in the chat has just put, will you be reviewing Galaxy Quest in this series? One of the greatest Star Trek films of all time. If we're going to bring in Galaxy Quest, can we bring in the Orville at some point?
Oh my goodness.
Patrick Stewart's favourite film, apparently.
Yeah,
yes.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
William Shatner loves it as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, in answer to Bill, Galaxy Quest is on our list, so we'll try and squeeze it in, definitely. But it will be after our Star Trek films, definitely, so that we can compare and contrast. Because that is a brilliant film, absolutely, isn't it? I'm just genuinely.
Tim Allen's fantastic in that.
Yeah,
it takes the pee out of us in a nice way, unlike the real stuff that's going on today.
And at the same time, can I just say, if you haven't seen, there's a great documentary, which I think was the 20th anniversary of Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can get it on Netflix, whatever streaming platform you get. I do know it's available on Sky Documentaries. Just search your electronic program guide for full listings and availability. Check it out. It's absolutely superb. It speaks to everybody, including a whole host of former Star Trek script writers that are in there as well. Well worth checking it out.
I think it was on Prime Video for a while as well.
But yes,
so it might be still there. Might be still in there.
And of course, you can go and buy it.
Of course, yes.
I always find that's easier to go onto something and buy it. Cool and Dry saying this, William Shatner turns 95 on March the 22nd. He has 30 wins and 45 nominations total across all awards, including the Saturn Awards, the Golden Globes, the SAG noms, Emmys, etc.
He's had a few Raspberry nominations in there as well.
I bet he has, really, yeah.
Mainly for his singing, I think.
Yeah, probably unfairly. Lots of appreciation for this film. I am delighted with the chat. There is a lot of appreciation for this. I was expecting this, guys, as I said to you before we came on. Probably it's going to be a bit 50-50 on this, but there's a lot of appreciation. Dalek Shalom, and the Enterprise never fires a shot. The horror is so great they can't even raise their shields. It's Lovecraftian. Is that right? Radium is saying, I love the Enterprise leaving the dry dock sequence and the later parody of the sequence in Galaxy Quest. And Rob GW is with us. Hello, mate. Just finished watching this film, having not seen it in decades. How did Vija survive a black hole? Now, I've had this conversation in the past with various people, and the conclusion we came up with, Rob, was it was very badly damaged, and the machine planet, whomever they are, rebuilt it in their image slightly.
I've got a better theory. Human technology is better in those days than it is now. That's why.
Well, Decker says it flies into what used to be called a black hole. So perhaps it was what now in Star Trek universe, it's a wormhole.
Yes, probably.
That could be good. Yeah, that could be it. Although they do use the term wormhole earlier in this film for something we know now isn't necessarily a wormhole.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, when they get the asteroid caught in their slipstream.
Yeah. I love this shot though of Vija or Voyager 6. In the I don't know if you want to call it a ship, but the environment that the machines have built for it. 300 years ago it was launched, wasn't it, by the Star Trek time? So goodness knows how long.
I like the way it's trying to communicate with it's like those noises. You know, it's
those wibbly wobbly noises.
It reminds me of close.
All R2D2, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's probably Douglas Trimble's idea then, because he came straight off Close Encounters to do this.
Oh gosh, look at this. Some great stuff. Thank you so much for all your lovely comments of this. We've got Stephen Claridge saying to us, I see the motion picture as a love story. I can see why. But as I said, they are star-crossed lovers. It's not supposed to be tragic in the end, is it? That's the whole thing about this. What happens to them is supposed to be a new life.
Yeah.
But you can't help but feel you've lost Ilea and you've lost the deck of characters to humanity, really, or Delty and do you know what I mean? It's a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a double-edged sword.
I like to see when Kirk tries to sacrifice himself, and the probe Vija pushes him aside and takes Decker.
Because it's recognised it has to be Decker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that scene when he says, Kirk says, "We are the curator," and he says, "No, you're not." It's like...
Yeah, I mean, when you're watching this, I mean, Kirsty's just watched it today, but you guys remember when you first watched it as well. The identity of Vija. I remember being really stunned by this. This is one of our own things we put up there. You know, and as a kid, of course, I'm going off on all these. Oh my God, what happens if an alien out there does get hold of it, and can they use it against it, and all this sort of thing, you know? And then recently we've had things where they've suggested that because some of the probes they've sent up have our blood DNAs in it, they can use that against us. There were things like V and stuff like that, wasn't there? I'm terrified by this thing, and I'm watching the motion picture now as a grown man. And I'm thinking, don't trust it. Don't trust this piece of junk. Don't go near it, Kirk. What are you doing? I love the fact that I get back into it. You know,
it's a great surprise twist at the end, isn't it? I think it works really well. I think
it's really
thought provoking. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's different stories, but you know, oh my God, it's actually us. It's humans that have created this problem.
Didn't they say send a dog into space? And he never got it back.
Yeah, that's probably been bulged by now, and it's on its way back.
NASA on it? Was NASA that sent it out?
No, it was the Soviet space program. Lackey or something like that. It
was the subject of the Eurovision Song Contest entry last year.
Sorry, Lex?
It was the subject of the Eurovision Song Contest entry for last year, like a party. It was the Irish entry. It didn't make it past.
It would be,
They did a joke character of that dog in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, they did, didn't they?
I don't remember it.
Yeah, of course they did, Thank you for that piece of information, Stephen. That's really great. And Jess wants to know too, lady of the chat, did you think it was dated, the motion picture?
No. That's sci-fi. That was brilliant. Missed that. Didn't think it was dated. I just thought the costumes were quite funny, as you said earlier on. It was just quite 70s with the V-neck. And, that look there. It's given 70s. It's given the time, which I quite enjoyed. But that was
oh really?
I definitely things that this is the thing that things like. Especially the past couple of years that we've had on this channel with like Doctor Who, that's dated, and especially like 2005 Doctor Who, you go back and go, oh, that's not aged well. That I could watch again, and I will watch again. And time, so can't complain.
That's brilliant.
If you didn't know the Star Trek franchise, you'd be hard pushed to say what year it was made.
Yes, that's a good point. This doesn't feel like a 1978-79 film, does it?
No. It looks like late 80s to me.
Yeah.
Bits.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I was going to ask everyone who watched it recently, obviously, Kirsty is more recent than everyone else, but was it just me, or did Kirk's trousers keep changing colour throughout the film? Or was that just me?
No, they had the uniform swaps for different scenes, I think.
All right, because there was at one point I think he had white trousers on, then they had like blue trousers on, and I wasn't aware of the time difference at that point. I thought it was a continuity error, but maybe just me.
William Shatner had 3 costume changes in the film.
Yeah.
And I think I've got them. I think I've got them. Let's have a look. We've got the Admiral outfit here.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, which is also that one there. Then we've got the short sleeve version.
Yeah.
Here, where he's
that's his summer collection, Yes,
that's his summer collection.
It's tennis kit.
Yeah, off to tennis. And I don't have his grey version. I'm sorry, but the grey version looks like
the long
one
jumpsuit
Spock is wearing, like that.
Yeah.
Which is, as I say, it's foreshadowing the next generation jumpsuits and the DS9 jumpsuits and the Voyager jumpsuits.
He had the away team uniform as well, didn't he?
Yes.
Yes,
It does look like Bones was jogging in that last one as well, I think. But
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of costumes in this. There is a lot of costumes in this film. It's amazing.
Spock had 3 costumes as well. Yeah, there's rag and bone look.
Yeah.
In the deleted scene, he was going to have a beard. There was a costume test, beard and long hair.
Yeah.
Because he was doing his trials, wasn't he? So
yeah.
Talking about this being a hard sci-fi movie, I didn't spot it until I saw it last week on the credits. Isaac Asimov is down as a special consultant on the movie.
Oh, was
he? Is, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
He is. There's a name.
Yeah.
You know, how many young people these days will know Isaac Asimov or have read the stuff? I mean, good grief. You know, this is, you look at things like this and say, to have that resource, all those resources around you, we could just pick up the phone and say, Isaac, do you want to come for lunch? It's not great. You don't get that anymore. It's not quite the same. Russell, do you want to come for lunch? Not quite the same at all, really, is it? Excuse me while I vomit. This film is timeless, says Stephen Braddock. Absolutely. And Rob GW is saying to us, I saw the motion picture at the cinema back in '79. Around the time I also saw The Black Hole. 2 similar films, big on ideas, but something missing from both of them. Oh, okay, fair enough, Rob. Fair enough.
Thingy went on the set to visit. The fellow wrote The Martian Chronicles.
Ray Bradbury.
Yeah, he went to visit as well.
Did he?
Yeah.
Again, he was a script consultant.
He knew Gene Roddenberry as well, quite well.
I've got the Martian Chronicles, the Rock Hudson version on DVD just behind me here. So
it's great. It's
great.
Dave Harding has saying to us, it's interesting too that with Star Trek II, the Enterprise's bridge was lit totally different, darker and more atmospheric. In the motion picture, it's very bright and white. Dave, I know what you're saying there, and I agree with you, because I, for years, was under the misapprehension that they rebuilt the bridge for Star Trek II, and apparently they didn't. It was just different color paint and different lighting. Amazing that is, isn't it? I didn't realize at all. It looks so much bigger in the motion picture.
Yeah, and again, that was the whole idea, because it was set up for the filming of a TV series.
Yeah,
and that's what. So they needed that extra room. They needed the whole vision. And as you say, JT, it was lit in a very different way from everything else to give that concept of grandness.
Yeah,
and the change of tone in the later Star Trek movies, which were much more action-packed and somewhat humorous at times with a serious undertone, dictated that change. And I think that was something that Harv Bennett brought on. He listened to the fans. I mean, he was very good as well, and taken from the comic books and that early feeling of conventions, what people wanted, what direction they wanted it to go, and he really took some of that and put it into what we saw on screen.
Well, the first movie that we're reviewing tonight, the Enterprise was like a cruise ship. The design was quite big, and then in the later films, it was like Hornblower in space.
It's certainly in this one. The Enterprise is. I mean, we were talking about it being a character earlier. It's a vessel, isn't it?
Yeah.
Later on, they do. Excuse me. Later on, they do tend to tie more emotional attachment from the crew to the ship. But here, it's just, it's great. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just the ship.
Yeah.
You know, it's just their vessel. They've got more important things to worry about. I'm not explaining myself very well. Ignore me. Mark Reed saying to us there for a super chat. My dad said an old family friend emigrated to the States years ago. Turns out her best friend there was Suzanne Dodd, who worked on the Voyager at NASA. Dad said the people at NASA loved the film. I bet they did.
Yeah.
I bet they did.
NASA were involved in the film as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I spotted that on the credits. Yeah.
Consultants, weren't they, for the use of the probe?
Yeah.
And Gene Roddenberry came up with the idea of putting the shuttle Enterprise, which had been launched that decade, a few years before, into the roll call. And that roll call, again, of various ships called Enterprise has gone on and on and on, hasn't it? It's been continued. I think that's lovely. I think that's very nice. Really, really good.
Nice touch.
It is a nice touch. Listen, everybody in the chat, we are going to be doing our usual scores. It's called Scores on the Tricorder for this series. Yes, I've put some thought in it. So, get ready to do that because we're going to be looking at the scores out of 10. You know what we do here. For the Enterprise, says Domgo, it's a beautiful rendition of the original ship. I love that it's actually put into the story. She's been refit for 2 years, for 2.5 years. Still not quite finished, to explain the bigger budget and the fact that they can really tart it up a bit and make it look, because the effect of the Enterprise here stays again right through to the next generation.
Especially with the theme march is used for Next Generation.
But, let's talk about that before we get into it. I have to talk about it because I am a big fan, as some of you are in the chat, of the music of this film. From Jerry Goldsmith, the master, of course, of many films, television shows. How many people would come to? I mean, I don't know if Kirsty was it. You come to the motion picture and you're suddenly getting a theme tune you're very familiar with, and this is the first time it's ever been heard. And it's so big, it was so popular. You might not necessarily hear it in the films again, but you get it back from a television series that it became a giant. It's just great. It's just brilliant, isn't it? The music, the score for this is just brilliant.
It's very big, grandiose.
Yeah.
Like hearing that score was brilliant. And like I was saying to my folks that I wish I was able to see this in the cinema and actually have that experience. I wish I'd had that experience to see that. My dad was like, but the score was beautiful in the movie. Again, very big, grandiose. Like, it felt sci-fi. It felt comfortable. It felt like this is what I've been asking for a while. And it's just iconic, regardless if you hear it on your phone, if you're watching the streaming site or the cinema. It's iconic. So
it was the Enterprise's theme tune, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's reassuring music now, isn't it?
It is. It's a proper movie score. I mean, the whole thing. I mean, even the effects, the more subtle music for the characters, the drama of In the Cloud, the revelation of Vija. It's just. I mean, my dad bought me this on vinyl back in 1980. Still got it. It's over there, and occasionally I have to put it on because it's just so good. I mean, it was beautiful actually because it came in the usual cardboard sleeve, but inside is a beautiful picture of the Enterprise from the film.
Lovely.
It's absolutely gorgeous, which was just in there. I remember as a boy when it dropped out, I went, poster. Never got on the wall though, don't worry about it. It's absolutely good. But the soundtrack, as David was here, I have owned the soundtrack on vinyl, tape and CD. I love that movie's music. Star Trek 2 is really good too. I think the motion picture for me though is a score that stands out from all the other Star Trek films coming, because this is one I remember continually, probably because I played it all the time on vinyl.
I think what's good about it is because movies of that time in the late 70s, like Superman, Star Wars, all had orchestral scores. Prior to that, a lot of them were a bit more 70s-y kind of thing. But because they're done by an orchestra and a proper composer, they're much more grandiose, as Kirsty was saying. And it really adds to the drama. And I love that fantastic dramatic sting they have when they get closer to Vija. That wonderful sting is so creepy. It works really well.
Oh yeah. It really isn't it? That sort of I can't really do it because it's copyright, but it's really it does. It takes you into that element of the film, isn't it? Where this is the reveal bit here. It's dangerous here. It's dark here. We're going into another element of mystery. Absolutely fantastic. Love it. Fun fact from Carwin: one of the model painters working on the motion picture was a Doctor Who fan. There's a photo of her in her Doctor Who shirt, and one of the spheres in Vija, the lights spelled TARDIS because it was big in the inside. See, even then, the links were
They
happening.
get everywhere, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah, these fans, it's brilliant. Oh, I've never noticed that. I should go back after this show and watch it again. Be up to 2 o'clock in the morning. Count 1970 Lives is saying to us, guys, the music is great. Yes, it was one of the rare times my father took me to the cinema to see this. He fell asleep about 20 to 30 minutes in, which was embarrassing. I hope he didn't snore. That would have been even more so. This is also, as you probably all know, one of the last Hollywood films produced that includes an overture.
Yeah,
of course, yeah.
Beautiful overture for the motion picture. That whole, because believe it or not, I actually, you go back and you watch some of the old films now, they cut the overtures now.
Yeah.
But loads of them had it. The Wizard of Oz had it. That was the big one. I remember seeing The Wizard of Oz one Christmas when I was a kid, and it took about 20 minutes to get to the actual bloody film. The Sound of Music had it. Another, as you were saying, Lee, it's a Robert Wise film.
Ten Commandments.
Ten Commandments did. I'm sure one of the Bonds did.
They did, originally.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
The first one, I think it was.
And I can't remember what the other one, but some of these films had these overtures, which I miss that actually, because you're showing off the talent of the composer. You can
only get that on physical media in some films now, but they cut it deliberately on TV.
Oh, I can imagine they cut it on TV to get more adverts in.
Yeah.
Because when I originally watched Ten Commandments when I was 6 years old, they had the thing what JT just said. They had it then, but then when the 90s came out, they edited it out.
Yeah, that's probably the other reason that the motion picture comes off badly in some courses, because the TV version we got here in the UK, I remember being absolutely stunned by it because it was shockingly bad. I thought, hang on, you've missed that bit out, and it didn't flow as well as the actual film. You see, John Mason saying that theme was a last-minute rush job after the other stuff was considered not to have much melody. Oh,
yeah, I saw the documentary last week for it, and it was mentioned that somebody had to come in and redo the music quite later. It was missing a theme, in the opinion of the producers. It just missed that theme, so came good in the end.
It did, because it came up with something that's, it's still recognizable to this day, and elements of it are still used this day, and it carried through the next generation, 7 years and a couple of films. So, I mean, it was a giant. It's bang, isn't it? You get the overture, and then you get bang into the. Oh, it's beautiful, absolutely fantastic. Love all the themes. Love all the themes to Stephen Braddock. Ilya's theme, the Klingon theme, the Enterprise theme, they're all beautiful.
That moves on right into the series, only the Klingon theme.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
The Enterprise has to always have a majestic theme, says PVFS. And Jess wants to know from you guys, have they done a revamped version of this for 4K?
I don't think they dare.
If they thought they will do,
It's on 4K. Lex, I think you've got it, haven't you?
Lex has got the 4K. You can get it in 4K.
I've got the limited edition one.
Hang on, let me just show us that.
It's the limited edition one here, and you get the 3 versions of the film. And if I can open this up, comes in a book format. And I got that for a bargain on eBay.
Nice.
Wow.
And I've got the normal edition where the extra long cuts inside this one.
Yeah. That's what I've got.
Yeah. Ooh, all on 4K. Ooh, I'm quite happy with the Blu-rays. I don't understand anything else. Domgo is saying to me, I've got that vinyl too. It's fabulous, isn't it, Domgo? It really is lovely. Jamie9526, the set stood from 78 and the motion picture until Voyager wrapped in 2002, I think. They kept rebuilding the main engineering for the next generation and Voyager in particular. When you've invested something like that warp drive, you're going to use it for bloody years, aren't you? Because that was an amazing set, absolutely stunning. So kept through all the way through to Voyager. Really not, because that must have been really costly. The model work is gorgeous, says Count 1970. Robert Wise is a great director and he did a good job, but it was the wrong tone for the time of release post Star Wars. Now, you see, I know what you're saying there. I'm going to politely say, yes, I understand, but I am grateful now that they did what they did. Because it points the two things separately. They're not the same. Yeah. And we get all the gung-ho stuff coming in with the second film. Let's face it. It was I think it's a nice way, Count 1970, to build this up.
Robert Wise was, like I said, on before the program. He was really panicking because they didn't have a crew and cast preview of the film. So when it was the presidential premiere, he took the film on the plane with him, and it was just being printed, so he didn't see the effects or anything like that. And he was panicking when it was going to be shown to the president of the United States, and he enjoyed it. He enjoyed it apparently. So.
Well, listen, it's come to that time of the show now where we are going to ask you in the audience. I've had a couple in the chat already. Can you put them back in? Start putting your scores in now into the chat as we do scores on the tricorder. All right, then. So this is out of 10. We're going to start with Lee because Lee has to leave in a couple of minutes. So, Lee, what are you going to give the motion picture out of 10?
It's a hard 8.
Woo, 8 out of 10. I was expecting a little bit more from you, to be honest.
No, because I know where the rest of the series goes.
Brilliant. Lex, what about you?
Yeah, I've seen all 3 versions now of this film, but it's my second favourite film, so it's 9 out of 10.
Good, okay. Lady of the chat.
I enjoyed it. I think I do agree with my wee pal Paul, who's along from me, that it was a bit slow in certain places. It could have gone a bit faster. It could have cut some things out. But it was a thoroughly good journey and movie. And I can't wait for watching these movies and this series of movies. So it's a promising start. And I'm going to give it an 8 as well.
Fantastic. Andy Unit.
Right, yeah. One of my favourite sci-fi movies of all time. It's in my top 10. And it's close to number 1 for the Star Trek movies for me, actually. I'm going to give it be generous and give it a 10.
Wow, fantastic. Woo! And Paul, what are you giving the MOP?
Well, this is interesting because as I put in my heading there, I called it the slow motion picture, right? And I'm going to defend this because when I went to see it with my uncle back in '79, he was 30, I was 13, and he thought it was boring as well. But I don't feel that way now because having not watched it in, is it 46 years since it was released, something like that? But it's a long time. But the it's kind of interesting because I, as you said earlier, JT, being an adult, I'm seeing it differently. I'm seeing bits of it I'm more enjoying more as an adult than I did as a kid. So having watched it, when I saw it in the cinema, I wasn't impressed. But then every time it was on the telly, I'd turn it over because I thought, oh, it's a slow motion picture. I don't want to see that. So I've not seen it. I've not seen it since the other day there in that time. So I've enjoyed it more this time around than I did before. It's still a bit slow and pacey. I think the music's great. I love Jerry Goldsmith. I'm a big fan of Planet of the Apes. I mentioned already. He did the soundtrack for Planet of the Apes original movie as well. Fantastic. So I love the music. I love the 3 main characters. Some of the entrances are great, particularly Dr. McCoy. So I'm going to give it 7 out of 10.
Oh,
very good, very good. For myself, as I said, I love this film. I'm going to give this a 9. Yeah, I'm giving this a 9. I love the motion picture. I think it's stunning, absolutely brilliant. And I am looking forward to sharing my comments and my my scores for the next lot that are all coming up. Yeah. Just to let you know, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. We're celebrating 60 years of Star Trek on the channel. Every month this year, we're going to be doing a Star Trek movie, and we're going to throw some other things in throughout the year as well. So you'll know what's coming up next in February. Thank you for that. Let's get into the chat and see what everybody's got. Dave Harding is giving it a 9.5. PTA is giving this a 10. Wow, again, brilliant. Derek is giving it 8. A brilliant 8.5 from John Roberts. Well done, you. Rick Storm is giving this a 8 out of 10. Richard Brooks is giving it a 9 out of 10. Look how high these marks are. Sheila Beard Devotions, 8 out of 10. Rob G, 6 out of 10. Carwin Morris, 9 out of 10. They are very good. Why is it that everything that's 40, 50 years old gets bigger marks than the stuff that he's shown out today? Bill Lowry is giving it a 6 out of 10. He thinks it's an extended episode eclipsed by the following film. Can't wait to see what you think, Bill, of the Next Generation films. I am ready for those, I tell you. John Mason is saying it's a 9 for me. I love it. Domgo, Even though it has its issues, it's still light years ahead of the shite we have to watch now. 10 out of 10. Lee, have you got to leave us now?
I do, mate. Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you all next month. Cheers,
Yeah,
guys.
see you next month.
Take care.
See you
later.
Take care.
See you later. Dalek Shalom in the chat going and saying 10 out of 10 for this. There's nothing better in Star Trek and very little better in movie history. Wonderful. Stephen O'Neill, 8 out of 10. Stephen Claridge, 8.5 out of 10. You're seeing a theme here, guys. Mark A. Rice is saying 10 out of 10.
Wow.
It has a majesty that the others, phenomenal as they are, do not possess. This is the last true traditional science fiction film. I would agree with Mark on that.
Good point, yeah.
I think, yeah, it's classy, isn't it, Mark? This is classy. Cara, when I first saw it, it was a 7 out of 10, but now understanding it more, I give it a solid 10 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
Well done, Clara.
Funky is also saying, despite all I've said, I give it a 7. That won't be my most surprising rating in this series. Ooh, I am excited about that, Funky. I am on the edge of my seat, and I am gripped with anticipation. Yes. Count 1970 is saying to us 8 out of 10. I like the film more and more as time goes on, and would take it over anything released now. Well, here,
Yeah.
well said.
Definitely.
P.T. Muzak, absolutely a 10
Wow.
out of 10. Fabulous. Send a copy of this to Kurtzman. Cool and Dry, 8 out of 10. Radium is going with a 9.5, a magnificent audiovisual experience. Carmen is saying, I wouldn't cut anything. I appreciate the movie because it takes its time to breathe and not rushes along. Maybe I'm just older. I think that's part of it. I think, you know, the fact that as you get older, as I said earlier, you can appreciate this film for what it is. It's character. Wonderful. Rob GW, if this is a 10 out of 10 film, then seriously, what does that make 2001, which was years ahead of this effort? And Killbot Kills with us saying 8.5 from me. Very good. I honestly believe, says Dave Harding, that the director's cut tightens up the boring bits a lot and makes the plot flow better. Good point. That's a good point. Yeah. Oh, Yokai63 is giving it a 10 out of 10 as well because it's perfect sci-fi.
Yeah, nice one.
Yeah. What else? Jess Corbin, come on, chat. It's a classic. 10 out of 10. Massive scores.
Andy's got a 10 out of 10 club there.
Yeah, haven't I? Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
This has done a lot better, guys, than I thought the motion picture was done. Because, you know, as I said, I thought this was going to be, and Andy, you used the term Marmite. I thought this was going to be a case of, well,
I think I was influenced by Paul and Ian on a previous show saying, yeah, we're looking forward on your Sunday night show. I was saying, yeah, we're looking forward to that. And both Paul and Ian were a bit about it. So I was anticipating diverse views.
Yeah. And what we've got here.
Yeah, it's amazing.
All our friends giving this a great, a great review. Jess is also saying, I am so going to enjoy watching the director's cut with a decent 65-inch television, Dolby Atmos, and a room full of speakers. Oh, Jess, good for you. We'll all come round.
Just like Lex.
I love it.
Get the catalogue, Jess. We're coming round. We shall beam over to you. And the PVFS is saying 10 out of 10. Even though I practically saw it after the most recent release at the time, I loved seeing the characters when they first came back. Great music, story, chemistry, and effects.
Great.
Absolutely superb, isn't it? Any more scores on the tricorder in the chat? Get them in now.
Also, it's getting re-released, isn't it? This coming for the 60th anniversary. The motion picture.
In the cinemas?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you something, Kirst. That's a cinema trip, isn't it?
And Rafa Khan and all the others.
I've actually seen, and he's not here now because he's left us, but Lee and I have actually been to see Star Trek 3 as an anniversary at the pictures, either last year or the year before. And I think we also went to see, we saw 2 and 3.
2 and 3 are coming out as well. And hopefully 4 might come out as well.
Stephen Braddock is also saying it has to be 10 out of 10. Thanks, Stephen. I hope you've enjoyed the show.
Nice one, Steve.
Oh, wow. I've really enjoyed this show. I'm very surprised by those remarks, those marks, but absolutely delighted with them. So thank you so much, everybody, for that. Just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Right, that's it. That's the start of our series celebrating Star Trek's 60th anniversary. that was our review of the motion picture. I hope you've enjoyed it. To Lex, to Kirsty, to Andy, to Paul, hope you've enjoyed the show. Thank you so much for being with me.
Yeah, it's great.
Yep, really enjoyed it. Thank you, JT.
Thank you very much.
It is the first of our series, as we keep saying. So where are we off to next? Of course, it's Star Trek 2. And you know who is on the rampage, I tell you.
Buried alive.
Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you've already subscribed to the channel, make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. Give us a thumbs up as well, why don't you? And look out for our second part of our education of Kirsty into the Star Trek movies. We'll be back soon. Until we see you all again here on Who's Views, take care of yourselves. Ta-ra, everybody. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Live long and prosper.
I can't
There
do
you
it.
go.